We'll be ready to start. Fantastic. So I'd like to give you a very big welcome. We're planning the workshop today for about 45-50 minutes. And the main goal today of the workshop, of this workshop, is to talk a little bit about application of augmented reality, specifically for teaching math and in geometry as one of the examples. And the majority of the time will be sharing some of the experiences that you can see that you can teach younger students all the way from kindergarten to grade 6 at the primary level teaching math, but at the same time some of the concepts and the content that you will see would also be applicable to teaching students at the older level. And in particularly, we'll be talking about interactive quizzes and something that is extremely exciting for students just to take them on the quiz where they can manipulate the device and see things in 3D. Before we start, I would like you to get ready, because if you would like to join the activities that will be provided today, it would be fantastic if you have 2 applications ready downloaded on your phone. The first one is IRC Geometry, and the second one is IRC Quest. So while I'm sharing the presentation for you, please find those 2 applications in the Apple Store or in the Google Play Store and have them ready if you would like to participate in the practical activities. Otherwise, you would just be watching my screen, and that also will give you an opportunity to understand how things work. Okay? If you have any questions, any technical aspects, I'm always here to help you and navigate you. Great. Then let me share my screen with you. And as you can see, we have our presentation. And in particularly, we'll be discussing today about what makes it a difference, what kind of difference it makes to teach with augmented reality comparing to any other subjects. And just a couple of words about myself. My name is Dr. Ina Armstrong, and I'm one of the co-founders of Clever Books, and I've been actively participating in talking to educators, and everything that you will see as part of the platform that we're presenting today, which is Clever Books Augmented Classroom. It's all co-created with people like yourselves who are actively teaching in the class. And basically, it was a great opportunity to see what kind of tools they're missing. And everything that I'll be talking today about is based on the feedback that we have received over the past 5 years, talking to over thousands of educators, completely different countries. As you can see today, there are lots of people present from all around the world. So also at the end of this this webinar, you would be able to get the participant certificate. So you're very welcome to send a quick email to marketing@cleverbooks. Here is the email address right here, and just say that you would like to request a participation certificate, and you would be sent, and my colleague Helena will send it to you. Today we'll be touch basing 2 points. First of all, I'll just give you a couple of words about teaching math, specifically with augmented reality, and then we'll move more to a practical application of how you can use specific tools, augmented classroom as a resource as one of the examples, and then you will be able to join some activities and participate, hopefully actively, in those activities. And just a quick reminder, I see that some of the people are joining in. So if you would like to participate in those activities, please, and experience a real augmented reality experience through the use of mobile device, please download 2 applications. The name of the applications are put in chat as well. So, and they're once again here, you can see how they look like. So it would be quite easy for you to find them. If you have any challenges or any questions, just let me know. So, and now it would be great for me to understand that you come from very different cultures and teaching maybe different curriculums. So it would be great for me to understand what is your main objective today to join this CPD training. So if you can, maybe you can just write a couple of words and that would be fantastic. So we know what you're trying to get out from this training today. Okay, so I need to stop sharing the screen for the moment so I can see if there's anything in the chat. So let me know if you have any questions at this stage, and we'll be proceeding further. I don't see any questions yet. Once I do, I would be glad to answer them. And it would be great to understand. Okay, so we have one participant. I want to learn new techniques of teaching math. Fantastic. Great. Okay, so yes, go ahead and share if you would like to, and then we'll be going further with our presentation. So as an example, some of the teaching challenges that we've heard the educators quite often talk about, in particular teaching math, is how to present abstract concepts in a visual way as one of the examples. Another example is some teachers say that teaching math could be quite complex, and depending on the grade level, obviously, and how can I make it more exciting? How can I motivate my students to actually want to learn and explore further? And other educators usually talking about how can I find specifically digital resources to initiate those collaborative experiences or teamwork experiences, or even just exploration experiences where kids using the digital technology can actually learn by themselves. And also because some classes have students at a very different level, then we have also issues of how you can use not just only traditional resources, but also digital resources as an efficient tool for personalizing learning, where students at different levels, at different learning abilities, are actually able to perform those activities, maybe in a competitive or non-competitive environment. And somewhere the resources that could really provide those aha moments. Now I understand how it works. Now it makes sense to me. So that's what usually we get in terms of feedback from teachers who are using Augmented Classroom as one of the resources. They say that that's what we're looking for. Okay, we have a couple of more things here to help students get real life experiences to understand and visualize abstract concepts. Fantastic. And learning ways to teach geometry 2D shapes. Great. So those are really good options and let's say the targets for today's seminar. So if we talk about exciting experiences, visualizing, let's say, concepts in a very simple way, then interesting enough, augmented reality is one of the technologies that can help you, first of all, present certain abstract concepts in a very simple, easy way, as you can see that on the picture, but at the same time provide collaborative experiences for students or individual explorative opportunities for students, where they're motivated to discover, to learn, to find ways to solve specific things, but at the same time they see how things work and they can better perceive the material. And at the end of the day, we've seen so many teachers who say our students remember everything that happens in the classroom when we perform those activities. And if we just take a step back, how it was before when augmented reality just started, specifically in the education landscape, many teachers saw it as a nice-have solution and didn't really have the place for it in the main kind of curriculum in terms of one of the teaching options, and maybe not adding on additional things, but supplementing some other traditional way of presenting information. So for example, if we talk about 2D and 3D shapes, sometimes you could showcase the 3D figures to students, but it's quite difficult to manipulate and let that 3D figure to go into 2D dimension, which this is something that you could certainly do using specific tools. And from a pedagogical perspective, what we can hear that the teachers are very excited about using this specific technology, and now it becomes really mainstream. And specifically, we talk about younger students. Virtual and augmented reality are the technologies that are very quickly immersing into the, let's say, curriculum and the ways that the material is presented in the digital way. However, if we talk about the younger students, it's always easy for teacher to actually use augmented reality because it doesn't provide additional hardware apart from a tablet or laptop if you want to present the material in 3D. But at the same time, if we talk about virtual reality, it's a very different experience. However, it probably would be more suitable from what we hear for older students, because then the students themselves can manage the hardware, and which makes it a very different way in terms of presenting information. Also, for the younger students, we found that it's much easier for the teacher to be in front of the students and see their eyes, how they're interacting with the solution. So again, augmented reality provides that opportunity for you to actually be the center of focus of teaching, but you're providing them resources and you can see how they're interacting with this resource. The combination of the gamification activities that the kids, as we know, very excited about, and that's what drives their interest in terms of wanting to learn and explore further, as well as the experiment-based activities, all combined in a digital material, usually help students to develop the digital skills, better understand the information that is received. And also there's a variety of opportunity for a teacher to make a decision if they want to assign students a collaborative activity where students can, for example, co-create an augmented or 3D learning environment, or if the students should perform certain tasks individually. So Faiza want to learn how to teach the properties of multiplication and division expression in interactive way. Fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing. So again, coming back to personalization of learning and blended learning opportunities, the opportunity to present the same information in different on different type of devices, because it depends on which device you're presenting. It would be either 3D learning environments or it would be real augmented reality environments. The same information could be perceived differently. But if we have multiple opportunities using multiple devices with multiple varieties of activities, then it builds those layers of students and they learn much faster and better. So, and all the practical aspects of today's conversation will be focused on a specific platform, Augmented Classroom. And I'm very excited to ask how many people have tried, have created the account and have tried Augmented Classroom as the solution. So maybe you can put plus if you have, and put a minus if you're not familiar with the platform yet. But the main goal of the platform, okay, thank you. Yes, please let me know if you're familiar or not with the platform. That would be great to understand how far in detail I have to go. Okay, I see that so far people are quite new to it. So after the webinar, you're very welcome to actually create an account, and you get access to 14-day trial. So you can explore what is part of that content. And it's not just about teaching math, but as you can see, there are a variety of subjects that you can teach with the content that is part of this platform. And you can teach it on all type of devices. Either it's a touch board and you would like students to come to the touch board and do those interactive collaborative experience, or you actually can use the combination of one-on-one iPads, for example, for providing students the real AR experience, or personal computers, laptops, etc. So, and the main focus here is that the students do not create any accounts, and they would be able to join the class that you facilitate as a teacher, and only the activity that you're facilitating, which creates a certain focus for them, that they can work on a specific activity and then answer the questions, etc. And today, my goal will be to show you as examples what kind of content you can use specifically in teaching math. And when we talk about content, we talk about different applications. And currently, Augmented Classroom has a variety of applications. And what you see on the screen now, those 4 would be the most applicable for teaching math in different ways. And you will see how you can do that. So one of the applications is IRC Geometry, and basically it provides the opportunity to teach the solids, geometrical solids, and how they unfold into 2 or 3D. There's a little bit of opportunity to teach about division, extraction, etc. You will see it all as an example. And so it's more visualizing the content, exploration of pre-designed content, and also initiating certain collaborative activities, as well as certain tests and gamified activities that will be performed. Then, once you have this solid base of students talking about different type of shapes, for example, you always can take the next step and let's say, let the students to perform an activity of where they can build, create the specific environment using certain shapes. And then it would be, specific tasks that you would be providing. And then, as one of the next opportunities, you either can facilitate a test using the IRC Geometry app, which is a simple 2D test, but you can take it to the next level. And you can actually bring the test where students walk around the classroom and they try to search for 3D objects. And when they find them all around them, then they can click and the test will pop up. So it's a very different way of performing specific quizzes, tests, or even maybe exams. So, and the blocks game is more a 3D Tetris game, again, just as an additional exciting activity. But what I would like to do now is I would like us to perform the first task. We're going to have 3 tasks and we're going to use 3 different apps. I hope we have enough time. And the first task is focused on exploring the geometrical solids. I will facilitate the class for you right now. You're very welcome to join either from your mobile device or from the web-based interface. And then you see that there is an option. So it would be fantastic to know from which device you would be joining today's class. So put number 1 if you will be using your mobile device to experience the real AR content, and put number 2 if you would be using the web-based interface to kind of see the same content in the 3D learning environment. So 1 mobile device, 2 web-based interface. And as you can see, kind of one of the lesson plan activities for me today, if I'm your teacher, is I would like you to explore geometrical solids and write down on a piece of paper the number of faces, edges, and vertices for each 3D shape. So that would be the task that I would be giving my students, which are you to do today. And the second task would be to explore how the 3D shapes actually unfold into 2D dimension and they fall back to 3D dimension. So I'm going to change the screen now, and we can start the activity right away. So here we go. Fantastic. If you have any questions, do let me know. And you can just put in the chat. And that would be the way to go further. Fantastic. So as you can see on this side of the screen, I have a platform, which is Augmented Classroom. And you will be sent a link. I don't know, maybe my colleague Mina could send a link to Augmented Classroom, and you will have that for after the webinar to look and create the account. So you're very welcome to go in here, create the account, and you can better understand what it includes as a solution and that you can use it on multiple devices at the same time. So, but I'm going to take you now to the dashboard. And once you land in the dashboard, we discussed that you can teach different subjects using different applications. So if you go to AR apps, you will find the whole selection of apps. And today, for the first task, we'll start with a geometry app. So for those who would like to use it in the web-based interface, you can see that as a teacher, I'm also using a web-based interface to prepare and facilitate the class, but you have the opportunity as my students to make a decision for which device you want to join. So I'm going to now begin the class. And if you're joining my class from the web-based interface, please click on this link and open in your browser. If you would like to join my class from a mobile device, you have to launch the app. You're going to launch the IRC Geometry app, and you're going to enter this code. You would open the app and you would click on Join as a student, and you would have to use the 4-letter digital code INXN to join the class. Now I'm going to also create the second round. I'm going to show you how that would work in the web-based interface as well. As you can see, I followed the link, and now without any registration, I'm joining as a student my own class. And you can see that as a teacher, you see how many students are joining in, who has joined in, and that gives me the opportunity to understand if everyone is ready for my class or not. I'm going to create my own nickname. As a student, you have a waiting screen until I am ready to present the content. And as a teacher, I see that my students are all in, so now I'm ready to present the content. As a student, when I share the content with you, you actually have the opportunity to select the language. So, for example, if some of the students want to perform the activity in their native language, they can do that by just switching the language opportunity. Or if I, as a teacher, want to facilitate this task in a different language, I can also do so. So this is a very quick way. You can see that once the teacher has assigned class, your screen has changed, and now you have the opportunity to actually click on different options that are here and explore and actually perform the tasks that are assigned to you. To look at 3D shapes, see how they unfold into 2D shapes, and calculate all the edges, faces, etc. So if you're on the web-based interface, do proceed and have a click around. If you're from a mobile device, you've launched the application, you've clicked the code to join the class, you got to the waiting screen, and now you have the opportunity to actually point the camera of your device towards this picture that I'm presenting to you. It's a marker. And when you point the camera of the device towards this picture, you would be able to get the augmented reality experience. So maybe you can just give a little bit of feedback if you have any issues of either joining or trying to explore the content in the web-based interface. Please put a minus or on a mobile device. If you have any issue, if everything works, you don't have to write anything, or you can just put a plus and say that you had the opportunity to experience. And I'm going to switch for the mobile device users. I'm going to switch some of the shapes that you have the opportunity to kind of explore different ones. So, but this would be the option for you to, let's say, present a content in a more, let's say, visual way, something that excites the kids and something that really motivates them to want to explore more. And you can see that there is also a variety of things that you're not narrowing down only to one specific shape for the exploration mode, but you actually give them the opportunity to click through and see how different shapes actually created, etc. So this is one of the opportunities of what you can do. And fantastic. Thank you very much for the feedback. So another option, as you can see as a teacher, now as I left this activity, I'm ready to present you another activity. And I would like you to learn a little bit about additions and how that works. So when we look on the on your student screen, you can see that now the software automatically split you into different groups. And I've been assigned with 2 other people, so I can click Start. And now I have a dashboard in front of me. And we actually 3 people in this environment at the same time. So it's a collaborative activity, teamwork activity, where each of us can actually move a specific shape. But before we do so, we need to calculate 2 plus 2 is 4. And it's also a triangle base. So I have to find number 4 with a triangle base to put it in. And as you can see, as a teacher, I see how the progress is going for this team. Lubna and Zara, if you could, if you're part of my team, maybe you can move some of the objects so also participants can see that it's happening on in a collaborative activity. But you can also see that there are multiple teams that are currently working on those activities, and each team has the opportunity to share and to actually co-create. So, as you can see, I'm the only one who is working in my team. Having issues with app. Okay, yes, sorry about that. Could you please point, if you're using the mobile device, you would have to point the mobile device at this marker, and then you can get to that experience. So with a regular web-based interface, you're just manipulating with your mouse. But if you would like to have students the augmented reality experience for the same task, you again pointing the camera at the device towards this marker, and you start using your finger to drag and drop the activities. The objects. And you could point it at any marker, doesn't matter. As a teacher, I also see that how my teams are performing. I see that most of them are in progress. I see that one team is struggling, so I can always get back, with my class and ask, okay, how are you doing? Are there any help needed? So that would be another task that you perform. And there are additional things that also available as part of this application that students can explore the content, you can present certain things. And again, for example, if you're using a touch board behind you, you can do it all on the touch board, and you can ask the students to come in and check out things. Okay, let the second team to perform. Fantastic. I can see that almost all teams have completed the tasks. Great. So that was one of the first, let's say, tasks that we had. Now, if we go back to the presentation, and give me the second to shape it for you. Fantastic. So you can see that the task number 1, using geometry application, has been completed by you. Had a little bit of experience of how that works. Now we're moving to the next task that I had for you today. Is we're continuing with our lesson. First, you, my students, have explored a little bit different 3D shapes, etc. But now I would like to give you a very clear task to use a different application, and where you can create the city landscape using only specific shapes, using the rectangle-based shapes or 3D objects. And this is where I will show you on this application just on my own. So you have the opportunity to see how this collaborative task works. But then we'll be moving to the third more exciting applications where you can see and then you can have the practical experience. So in this creative application, you can see that you can use that in a mobile device as well as in a web-based interface. If we compare the geometry app that you've just experienced with this Create app, this does not require any picture, any marker. It works without markers, meaning that you point the camera of your device just on the flat surface, and then you already have the interface, the opportunity to interact with this 3D learning environment or augmented environment. And in this case, depending on what kind of activities you would like to assign to your students, you can create on projects. You can choose between different landscapes. So you can select that some of the students will be, let's say, using the landscape of city, or Arctic. And again, because we're teaching math, and you can think, okay, how does that put two and two together? But giving them the task of saying, okay, let's say you have to use any landscape. You can ask what landscape they would like to use, but then you can say that if you doing the gardening, your gardening would have to have minimum of 20 specific trees, or you would have to make sure that you use animals that you put in minimum of 2 each. So you're kind of giving them an opportunity specifically to make a decision how you can use math aspects to bring that together. And again, using the different shapes when they create the environments, that's another really good option to do so. So as you can see that once we get in the landscape environments, and let me just open this one. In this case, it's a winter environment, and my goal was to assign you a task where everything that you create in terms of houses would be used either a square-based or a rectangle-based. And as you can see that there is a library of 3D objects that the students can choose from, and then their goal would be just drag and drop and build in environment. Now, I'm doing it on my own right now, but if I were to invite you, the same concept applied as you've seen it in the addition task or activity. I can invite you to join my environment, and then you actually will be able to provide your students the task where they collaboratively can co-create this 3D learning environment. So quite a simple way in use. If you don't like something, you can always put it away. And then the idea here is to give the opportunity to students to really kind of build a little bit of a creativity and critical thinking aspects, etc. Great. So, and now I would like to move to the next and probably the most exciting applications of the presentation. As I'm moving to the next slide, could you please let me know if you're familiar with Pokemon Go? If you've heard of this application, how the kids were running around with mobile devices trying to catch Pokemons. So if you are, please put a plus in the chat. I'll know that you know what it is. And the concept is fantastic because however, it hasn't been quite useful for many kids in certain way, because the kids were just chasing the Pokemons all around the city, etc. So we're trying to find a way on how we can apply a simple concept like that, but more in educational purposes. And that's where the interactive quiz was born. So basically what you're going to experience now, if you have downloaded the application, is you're going to launch the app. It's called IRC Quest. I'm just writing it for you once again. And once you launch the app, I'm going to facilitate the class for you to join my activity. And I already prepared a specific quiz for you to join. It has only 2 questions, but that would be a good opportunity for you just to have a little bit of taste of what it is. And then you can see how that works. So please launch the application, and please put join with this particular code. So when you launch the app will ask you to join as a student. Once you do, please put the code 39DC. And once you've done so, you can put a plus in the chat. With this application, I would be able to show you a video in the moment after we've experienced this, how that works. So in case you were not able to join, you would be able to see that in the video. And I would switch the screens as you're joining in. So you can also, if you're not able to join, that would still give you an opportunity to understand what people are looking for. Great. Let me just go back. And we're going to use this app. as you can see, that we have a library of quizzes, and you will be performing today this quiz. It's called Geometry Quiz. It has 2 specific questions, and as you can see, that simple quiz that asks the students to define which shape it is. So now, as I have 6 students who actually joined already, you're very welcome to start looking around you, and you need to go very slowly. You don't have to walk anywhere far away. You can sit in your place, but your main goal is to look around you 360 and try to find this cube object. Once you do, I see that one person has already found it. It could be behind you, it could be in front of you, it could be just below you, or it could be somewhere else. But it is within 300 degrees around you. For example, when I performed this quiz today, I saw it just over my shoulder, the first object, and the second object was just a little bit on my right. So, but it could be different for different people. So you have to be very slow and very careful, persistent, otherwise you'll miss it. But the people who are currently waiting to see how that looks like, you can see that basically what we're doing is we're looking with our mobile device around us for searching for 3D objects. And once we find it, the quiz will pop up. So it gives you the opportunity, your students an opportunity to really experience the quiz in or a test in a very interactive way. And as a teacher, you can prepare any type of quiz related to, we have, for example, 3D quiz as shapes. I see there are no questions in there. Here we go. I have 2 questions here. Again, the idea here is that you have the 3D object together with a specific question and then multiple choice answer. Okay, I see that there are 3 people who actually managed to get their shapes. I got it. Okay, fantastic. Very interesting educational application. Great. So let's have a quick look now how you can create this quiz. When you go to this IRC Quest app, you have the opportunity to either select from a library of public quizzes, and you can see that we have some teachers who created those quizzes and already practice those quizzes with their students in class, or you can make a decision to create a quiz on your own, meaning that you can put the subjects, for example, math, and you can make a decision if you would like this quiz to be public or not. The complexity of it. So, for example, if you're teaching kindergarten students with a very simple quiz, which 3D shape is that, then obviously it would be an easy way. If you want to write a more complex quiz, you can, for yourself define how that works. You can define the age group, and you can create this quiz in any language. It doesn't necessarily have to be in English. So you can set as a main language German, for example, and then start creating the quiz in German. The question comes here, you write multiple choice answers and then make a decision which answer is correct. And for that, you select the model from existing 3D object database, for example, this one, and that would be your quiz. You continue with the number of questions you would like to perform. So that's one way of doing it, where you can completely create the quiz from scratch. However, if you found a quiz in a public library and you say, I absolutely want to have that, I don't want to recreate it, etc. So you actually have the opportunity to copy the quiz and put it in a different language. You can translate it with a matter of minutes to any language that we have currently in the library. So you don't have to retype anything like that. And overall, as you can see, that if we move back to the presentation, that we first started with one of the activities where our students had the opportunity to first explore pre-designed content, learn a little bit about 3D shapes, how they fold, how they unfold. Then we assigned a specific task to our students. I assigned to you as my students to actually create a collaborative environment where the students were asked to perform a specific task using creation skills and also co-creation. And then I ended up with checking students' knowledge in asking them to perform a specific 3D geometry quiz. So you can see how different content of part of one single platform, Augmented Classroom, can actually provide you the opportunity to teach. It doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be done within one class. It could be done with multiple classes, right? Depending on how much time you have. But this would give the opportunity to the students to build layers in their knowledge, and then eventually when they come out, they're excited, they want to perform more, and they got to grasp all the concepts that have been taught to them. So this is something that you could definitely try after the presentation. I would strongly encourage you to create your Augmented Classroom account. And as an example, Augmented Classroom, as you can see, is a comprehensive solution that provides the opportunity for teachers to select from different type of subjects, as well as use the different type of devices for collaborative and individual experiences. And by creating the account, you can get access to 14 days trial by using the following links. However, if you would like to get separate solutions just for geometry, just a single application, we have a variety of options. And this will provide you with only explorative experience. You would not have the collaborative part in those separate solutions, but at least it would be an exciting way for you to bring that to the classroom. And it either could be geometry building blocks where look like that, as you can see. So just print and then kids can cut it and make the shape, and then you would be able to use the application in addition to that. Or there is a special workbook that could be used as well, not just only with the shapes, but also additionally, it could be used with some additional activities and for you to print out and distribute. So I would be able to send you in a minute all those links in chat where you can get those resources. And then it gives you an opportunity to have a variety of aspects of how you can present the material. So it would be great for me to understand if you have any questions, any concerns, any questions, or any comments based on what you've seen today. So a little bit of feedback is always welcome and appreciated. I'll give you a couple of minutes to, maybe let's do it that way. If you have a question, because you might need some time to type it, you can put a plus, and then I will know that I'll be waiting for your question. If you don't have any questions, you can put a minus. But if you want to provide any feedback beyond that, that would be fantastic. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. And just a quick reminder that if you would like to get the participant certificates, please email Helena. And let me just give you the email address that you can use right here, so you can copy it. Otherwise, if you have any questions while you're trialing Augmented Classroom as the platform, you're always welcome to reach out to us, ask additional questions. And we actually have a chain of webinars coming also in the upcoming months, depending on what you're teaching, what your experience is. you're very welcome to join additional webinars. We'll be talking about how you can apply augmented classroom content for teaching STEM. We also previously had a webinar on how you can teach social studies and geography in using augmented classroom. As you can see, because there's a variety of applications, they apply to different subjects. So you're very welcome to find that video on YouTube. It's on our channel, Clever Books, and there's a full recording in there. My colleague Herbert performed that webinar. It's very exciting, very interesting, and I hope that you would also learn something interesting. It was a very interesting class. Unfortunately, it's we couldn't see how to get to teach students such interactive way of learning. Thank you. Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your feedback. Perhaps to be user-friendly. To be more user-friendly. Okay, Lubna, fantastic. If you can maybe elaborate on that one also per email, all your feedback is very appreciative, because as I said, that we always get the feedback from teachers who actively use the solution in class, and all your feedback is applied because our goal is to provide you the solution that will simplify your way of teaching and not complicate it, let's say. Thank you very much for this informative interactive session, really helpful to create collaborative learning. Fantastic. And just in addition to that, if you're struggling in terms of understanding how to use augmented classroom, etc., we do have all the information here with lesson plans. So basically, you'll be able to sneak peek and see what kind of activities you can facilitate with different applications. All those lesson plans are created by teachers all from different countries of the world. You can see that some of them are very comprehensive lesson plans, other ones are a little bit short. And also, if you would like to see how this augmented classroom content as a comprehensive solution is applicable to different types of curriculum, we do have the curriculum outline as well. And as you can see that there are different curriculum alignments, mostly for international schools that we have, PYP, American, British, French, etc. However, if you go below, you can see that the goal is, if you haven't found your curriculum right in the list, then you can see what kind of skills the students can develop by using augmented classroom content, as well as how that's applicable to the STEM framework and what kind of content is available as part of all that selection of applications. Great, fantastic. Thank you for the information, helpful webinar. Thank you. Thank you very much for all your feedback. And as I promised to you, I try to be on time. I think almost at the end of our webinar. So if there's anything else that you would like to ask or comment, please feel free to write in the chat or even unmute yourself and ask. If not, I wish you a wonderful day or evening, depending on where you are. And I'll see you in upcoming webinars. So take care, and you're very welcome to explore augmented classroom on your own as well. Fantastic. Bye-bye.